Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to Illinois Stories. I'm Mark McDonald near Decatur at the Illinois Raptor Center, where behind me inside that building a very interesting project is taking place. Ospreys, commonly known as fish eagles, are very common in some parts of the country, but they're not established here in central Illinois. So in order to get them out of places where they're in danger of airplanes and air travel and those kinds of things on the East Coast, they've been brought here, and the chicks have been what they call hacked here. Now, inside this building, there are 10 young osprey chicks, and they're going through physical checkups and blood work and those kinds of things before they can go back to what they call their hacking sites, from which they'll be released into the wild. They first start with a physical.
And this is probably going to be a snippy one. It's one of the older ones. Oh, yes.
My goodness, it is big.
Yeah, this is really cool.
Oh, that's a big one. When you said chicks, I thought I was expecting a little
that's a chick,
bitty
buddy.
thing. Oh my goodness.
That is a chick.
And you don't need special gloves or anything to handle him.
Oh, you probably should.
You should. All right. Oh my goodness.
So I'm going to go ahead.
So how old is this this osprey?
And this one is
this one is about 5 weeks old.
5 weeks old.
See,
first thing he does is go for your finger.
Yeah, that's probably what we should have. We got a little device to stop that. Here we go.
Okay.
So we're just going to go ahead and put a little hood on him here.
Yeah. He already knows what's coming, doesn't he?
Oh yeah. These guys are a little older than they were last year.
Well, listen, that clacking of that beak.
Yeah. All right, you can have it.
Okay, that's what he wanted. Huh?
So I'm going to grab this wrap over here. Sorry.
Actually, that one is 6 weeks.
Yep.
6 weeks old.
Yeah.
Is this the oldest of the bunch?
No, the oldest is a female, is 6.5 weeks.
And this is a 6-week male?
This is a male.
Okay. The males are smaller than the females?
Yes.
Yes, they are. Okay, well, we'll just
he's
let you
happy
have
with that. Now, Jack, what are you going to try to ascertain from this bird?
Well, right now we're just going to do a physical, a general physical on all these guys. So we're going to make sure that they're all looking good and their eyesight's good and their weight is good. And I'm going to start that there.
What would we have done without Velcro, right?
Yeah, and then we're just going to get a weight on this guy real quick. And then I'm going to check out a bunch of stuff over him. And then there's some measurements I'm going to do. And now I think we can hood him a little easier. So the hoods help calm him down a little bit, if he would let me hood him. And then you'll see once this goes on.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, that is nice.
So we're just going to go ahead and start. And
now you have 11. You have 10 of these.
10. Yes.
Okay. You get a general well-being reading of their physical condition, and then they get banded, and then we'll continue with some blood work and those kinds of things.
Yes, it is. So we're going to get a good weight on this guy here. This is 1392, and that's 1392 minus 89. So don't get all excited about that. 1392 because the wrap is.
Now that's not pounds. What is that?
It's grams.
Grams. Okay.
All right. So now I got my weight on him. We're just going to go ahead and go through our physical here real quick. So there's just a bunch of stuff I'm going to check. I'm going to get a hold of his little beak here. There we go. And just make sure these eyes work right. And that looks good. And make sure his nares are clear. Yeah.
Make sure his ears are clear.
His nares are clear.
Nares.
They got this cool nair because they got like this flap. Because these guys
right
dive into the water. So they got this really cool flap that covers their. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I've never been bit so much by an osprey. His mouth looks good, too. So we're just going to check all this stuff off. And then we got to check his ears real quick. Just make sure there's nothing inside of them. And this is fun, always finding their ear. There it is. And we have a nice, clear ear here.
Just like going to the doctor's office.
Yep, that's exactly what this is. It's just a physical, just to make sure everybody's good and healthy.
And you can tell that's clear. Okay. You can see something I don't see, but.
Yeah. So it's a really small ear, but there it is right there.
Oh yeah. Here, can I shine that in there while you, so we can get a look at it?
Now I lost it. Nope, I lost the ear. There it is. So it's just that little,
Oh yeah,
that
sure.
little hole right there. So that looks good. And this looks good. Vibration looks pretty good. I'm just going to check his
What are you feeling
abdomen
for?
here. So I'm checking his abdomen, make sure there's no big bulges or anything like that. I'm going to go ahead and re-hood him here. This is one Bitey. I can very name this guy. His name's Bitey. I have a feeling it's going to be Bitey 1.
Not the only one today, huh?
So let's just go ahead and get this struck there. All right, and the crop should be empty. You guys didn't feed these guys. And then we're gonna feel our keel. And this, it's a juvenile, so it's not gonna, it's gonna have a kind of a, not a bad keel actually. So the keel is just like that bone, what you call it, a piece of chicken, the sled runner on the chicken. So I'm just feeling the amount of muscle on either side of the keel.
And he feels sound, huh?
Oh yeah, he's pretty good for a chick. And then I'm just going to do some basic observations here on everything on him. So David, if you want to come over here and help me with the wings.
See, David came prepared.
So I'm going to check this wing here, so get his legs there. So I'm just going to check and make sure the wings look all good. Everything looks good there.
My goodness, that's a wingspan considering
Isn't
he's only
it?
6 weeks old.
It's a huge
Wow.
wing. Such a.
How big would he be as an adult?
Let's see. An adult weighs.
Like wingspan?
Yeah,
like
wingspan-wise, you're looking at 6 feet, 6.5 feet.
Sort of like a bald eagle, huh? About the same
I'm
size?
getting close there, but it's just gonna check these legs here real quick. And our feet all look cool. And
Wow,
there's
he's
some cool
equipped. He
talons
is
there.
equipped.
So there's really something really neat here since these feet are extremely rough. So I know, Mark, just stick your finger in there.
Right in there?
And feel that.
Yeah, it's like sandpaper.
Yeah, so this is a bird that grabs onto fish that are covered in a mucus or slime, and it's got to be able to hold on to that fish. So it's got this real rough sandpaper type foot.
Yeah, you can see how it
It's
would
also
work.
got a really neat foot placement. It's got 2 toes in the front, 2 in the back, which is really good for holding on to stuff. All right, and let me mark some stuff down here real quick. And we're going to check his vent here real quick. Exactly.
What's his vent?
The vent is the where they go to the bathroom out of. It's just that's the nice way of saying it, I guess. All right, David, I got him.
So he's a good physical specimen, apparently.
So far, he is.
Yeah.
We know he can bite. And there we go. Looks great. Check the wings out. Check the legs out. Foot looks good. Talons look awesome. And attitude is good. Nervous system response time. It's great. And no parasites on him yet. All right, David, you want to hold him and I'll get my measurements. And I need you on this side. Sorry, man. This is going to be fun to do. So we're going to get a head measurement on him real quick.
Oh, that's the test again.
So this is we're measuring just to see if there's any symmetry going on, or the, okay, guy. Okay, 42.84. And we're going to measure the circumference of this.
Oh, it's for your own good, buddy.
Yeah. Boy, this is the feisty little osprey here. You can just play with that.
Just bite down on this. Tara Beveroff, after Jack ascertains the health, the general physical qualities of the bird, then you want to put these bands on it.
Yes.
What's the purpose of that?
The purpose of the bands is so that we can identify the birds. So if this bird is recaptured, say somewhere else or seen somewhere else, the band lets somebody know that this bird's been processed already and somebody is probably working with that bird. And then if it's, like I said, if it's recaptured, they're going to be able to know exactly who this individual is. And find out all the information that was taken at the time.
This band tells them like where the bird came from originally, where it was released,
so
and all that stuff.
If it goes to a different area than you would normally expect it to, and somebody that's doing bird work were to capture it or to see it, then they would have an idea of, oh, this bird's here and it's not here. A lot of people use bird banding for migration to see if the birds come back to the same places.
You learn more about their patterns,
you learn a lot about
don't you?
them. Yes.
Okay. And so this goes on, you're gonna put 2 bands on. This is the first one.
Yes, this is the federal band that's required, so that, we send these bands numbers to the bird banding laboratory, so they can keep records. So this is gonna go on the left leg.
This guy was pretty frisky before. I wonder if he's settled down.
Well, he was just kind of violated, actually.
Sure can.
Oh, thank you. I might have closed this a little too much.
It must weigh almost nothing, right?
The band?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's aluminum, so it's really light. These bands are called lock-on bands, which most raptors use lock-on bands so that they can't get them off. Because actually, I'm wondering. Sorry, go ahead.
And once he gets used to it, he won't even know it's on there, I guess.
Yeah, usually they get used to it. Usually, like I've seen birds play with bands for a while after they, pass range. I've seen them play with them for a while, and eventually they just leave them alone. So.
My band's shinier than your band.
Yeah, well, yeah. Actually, can we lift him up? It might be actually. Is that
Actually,
okay?
if you want to hold him against your chest, want to do that?
Yeah, that'll be.
It's okay.
Oh,
It's just
sorry.
a
Sorry.
piece of dynamite. No big deal.
All right. So this would be easier to do.
My bad.
Buddy, he's getting steered. Next.
That was my bad.
Oh, that's fine. Sorry, buddy.
Please don't bite my chest.
Is he trying to bite your chest?
I don't know. If his head gets close enough, he will.
There we go. Next time I'm going to put this on the other direction.
There.
Check the weed in the box to go with the bird.
Yeah, so go and put that around the back.
Looks like you got it.
Yeah, and with most bands, they're fit. Each bird takes a different band size, so you just got to make sure you're putting the right size on the bird.
And then you'll follow up with the same process with this green band. It'll go on the other leg.
Yes.
And this will be more visible if somebody sees them through
Yeah,
the
so they can
binoculars or
identify it
something.
by the individual from a greater distance.
I see.
So rather than capturing them. So let's see.
Travis Wilcoxon, in this chain of events, as you get ready to return these birds to a hack site, first we checked the general physical condition of the bird, then we saw the banding process. Then during that banding process, there was also this dyeing process. And we'll notice when we look at the bird now that he's got a different color.
Sure. So this is helpful because it's a lot easier from afar with binoculars to be able to see a dyed patch on the bird than it would be to see the bands on their ankles there, on their legs. So this is just sort of a mark that gives another way to identify this bird from a distance without having to get up really close to see exactly who this bird is.
Okay, so this bird probably doesn't have to live with this dye the rest of its days. It's just during the hacking process.
Sure, as soon as it molts those feathers off, that dye will be gone.
Okay,
So, yep.
so what you're going to do now is you're going to do some blood work.
Sure. So the external physical that they've done earlier, it gives a good indication of the structure of the bones and the quality of the bird in general. But we're going to do a little more internal stuff now. So a simple blood sample is going to allow us to address a lot more of their health, a lot more about their health condition. So.
Okay, well, I don't want to keep you. You go to work, and I might ask you some questions while you're doing this, okay?
All right.
You're going to first draw some blood, huh?
Yeah, we're first going to find the vein here. Clean off the area with alcohol swab.
This is already the full-size burn from last year.
It's important to hit the vein or artery.
Well, we're taking a very small sample, so these little capillary tubes are about the size that if you were to go take blood off the tip of your finger, that's about where you'd be collecting in there. So it's just going to be a little bead, and then I'm going to collect, and I'm hoping to get a second tube there too. So.
Oh yeah, very small prick.
Ooh, and they love it.
Well, he noticed it. You got his attention.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get another shot there.
Yeah, they're gonna just bolt if they. I think that's the pattern.
There we go.
Parasites. We have feather lice on this bird.
Okay.
So just put feather lice. We're gonna have to dust the bird.
So that'll be enough for the blood smear. I'll try my best to get a little bit more here.
Okay. And you will take these blood samples back to your lab. You don't do anything right here on site with them.
Right. So, all right. Well, we're just gonna stop with that there for now. Okay. So.
I'm gonna try the other one.
No, I'm just gonna try to move up here a little bit. It'll be one more little shot.
And what's the value of finding out what doing blood work like this?
Well, we can do a lot of things, from seeing what kind of parasites they might be harboring inside their blood, to their white blood cell counts, all the way through to, say, calcium levels. Calcium is obviously critical for bone health and otherwise muscle function. And it's also important, we can do things like look at their antioxidant levels, and again, these are all things that are going to be real crucial for their growth and development. When we have these young birds here, that's really what we're focused on. So, all right.
Okay.
Yeah, let's try the other one. So one of the things that works against us here is when we have to do this on a flat surface is gravity is not our friend.
Yeah.
So as sometimes when you have smaller birds, you can hold them sort of more vertically.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and hold that, Bridget. So. All right.
So you're going to do the same process with this wing now that we just
because we're trying to get a better sample here. So, and this is such a tiny amount of blood. For comparison's sake, if we were taking blood from a bird like a northern cardinal, we would take more blood than this typically in a lot of my other research. So I'm not concerned with this amount of blood injury in this bird in any way. So, new needle here.
So what I do is I just do a little pressure check just make sure. Nothing's good. Right wing's good.
Just not cooperating. All right, well that'll be good enough for
got enough for a sample.
for a sample for now.
Okay.
So, yep.
There it went down. April, okay, we're trying to give the bird some carp, right?
Yes.
Okay, we've hydrated the bird, so it should be feeling better. And now we want, before we put it back in the hacking, we want to get it fed, right?
Yes.
So it's got something to go on. But it's not that easy. He's really worked up, isn't he?
Oh yeah. Right now he's in a stressful situation. So anybody, if you were to hear in his spot, I mean, you wouldn't want food shoved down your throat on a regular basis.
No,
right now.
but I think I would cooperate and just oh, I just take it, you know,
You
I just take it. But anyway, this is an interesting process because he's so worked up. He doesn't trust you one bit because all people have done so far is stick him with needles, you know, and make him feel uncomfortable. He has had a rough day, but he's going to feel better once he gets this carp. And these ospreys, that's basically all they eat is fish, any kind of fish, right?
Yes.
So this is, in the end, this is very good for him, and he doesn't know it yet, but he's going to like this.
Yes.
So let's try to feed him just a little bit more and see if we can get him to cooperate a little bit.
All right.
Yeah, it takes a magician. It takes a magician. There we go.
There we go.
Let's see if he'll.
There you go. Right down in there.
There it goes. Congratulations. Okay, he's going to feel better. We know it.
A little bit on there.
Yeah. He's going to feel better. And you're brave young ladies, I'll tell you. That beak is sharp.
One more?
Well, Patrick McDonald, those osprey, they came in your truck. You work for IDNR.
Yes, I do.
They came in that truck, and they're going back in that truck, and they're going to what we call a hacking site. Is that the right term for it?
That's correct. They're going to a hacking box, which is basically a structure that allows us to keep the birds inside until they're at an age which they're able to fledge on their own.
And they're about 6 weeks old now. What age would that be?
That would be about 52 to 55 days of age.
Okay, let's see, 60 times.
So about
6
for
weeks.
another 2 weeks.
Another 2 weeks, okay.
Right.
Well, they looked pretty sizable, but they're not yet ready to care for themselves. I mean, they still need somebody watching over them.
That's correct.
Yeah.
We'll continue to feed them twice a day until they leave the box, and even after that, we will continue to feed them outside of the box to ensure that they're catching food on their own.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting, you know, and I guess you have the food. We saw them feeding little bits of carp in there, but you just keep feeding them fish the whole time, and
That's right.
as much as they want, as much as they can take, I mean, you just keep feeding them.
That's right.
So you're mom and dad, basically.
We are, yes.
And your hope is, I guess, for these 10 birds and additional ones from last year to stay in Illinois. Huh?
Right. The ospreys, primarily the males, they return with their mates when they reach maturity. And so our hope and the plan is for them to raise their own birds, which will eventually come back to produce their own offspring. And so that's how we want to establish the ospreys in Illinois.
Fascinating. Well, thank you for letting us watch this whole process. This has been really neat. You and the folks here at the Illinois Raptor Center, and I guess the Army Corps of Engineers is involved in this as well. And there's been a number of agencies involved in this whole process.
We've had a lot of people that cooperate with this project, and we couldn't have done it without their help.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And keep your eyes out, because you may very well see some of these ospreys after they become adults here in Illinois. With another Illinois story in Decatur, I'm Mark McDonald. Thanks for watching.
Illinois Stories is brought to you by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting and by the support of viewers like you. Thank you. For a DVD copy of the program you've just seen, send $19.95 to Network Knowledge, P.O. Box 6248, Springfield, Illinois 62708. Be sure to include the program name, subject, and when the program aired. You can also order with your credit card by calling 800-232-3605.